Welcome back to Swiss Money Radio on WDRB Media. Don't forget, every Friday at 9 a.m., you can hear my show. All you have to do is download the iHeartRadio app or the TuneIn Radio app. It's absolutely free. Once you download the app, click on Find WDRB Media. It'll pop right up, and then click the button, and then you can hear this every single Friday. And just listen to WDRB Media anyway, because it has some great shows all throughout the day. I'm back with Rachel Davis, and we left off with the question of the hour. The question of the moment of the year right now. When women here submit to their man, I know that could be very, very touchy.
Right.
So since it's that touchy, because in today's world, that is probably a no-no. Maybe years ago, it fit perfectly. But now, today, submit to who? Nope. I'm independent. I could do this, and this.
Right.
So please, give me your scenario when you hear that, and how can it be something that's not a negative connotation when it's being said? And I can see your husband over there looking at me like, nah, bro. Nah, bro. But please, just tell me, tell the listeners of how can it not have so much of a negative connotation on it.
Well, first and foremost, the Bible was clearly written by men.
Here we go.
Clearly written by men. But you know, again, the Bible being the basic instructions before leaving Earth, we have to take into consideration the instructions that the good book has given all of us in terms of how to live that Bible-based life, right? And the scripture does say women need to submit to their men. Now, submit back in after death AD
Yes.
or BC, it's very different than submit in what year are you in, 2018?
Yes.
2018. And so I personally take a different spin on the word submit in relationships.
Okay.
As a woman. And even as far as men, no woman or man would want to submit to anybody or submit to anything. We don't live in a time or in a day or in an age or even in a country where that's acceptable. Now, that may be acceptable in other cultures, in other countries. But when you think about the United States of these Americas,
Yes.
I'm just kidding, United States of America, that is not a terminology that anybody wants to assume for themselves. And so when we think about the dynamics between the masculine energy and the feminine energy in a relationship, I am, and call me a bit old-fashioned, but I am a firm believer that the man does have the position of being at the head of the household.
Okay, I'm with you on that.
You're with me?
I'm with you on that one.
But men and women, make no mistake about it, the woman is the neck.
Yes, I would
The
agree with that too.
woman dictates where the head goes. That neck dictates
I would agree with that.
where the head goes. So I don't necessarily subscribe to the concept or the utilization of the word submit. I don't subscribe to having a man or a woman submit to another person. I think both are equally empowered human beings, equally empowered individuals who both bring a different dynamic to the relationship that will make the relationship work. So I eliminate the word submit and I replace it with influence.
Okay.
So a woman can influence her man to do just about anything that she desires him to do. Okay. If she knows how to tap into her personal power and if she understands how to get him to march to the beat of her rhythm.
And I think that's where the issue comes in.
Right.
Because
we're not connected in that way.
Yes.
We have clashing personalities. You have a woman who in a lot of households have had to be the breadwinner for a very long time. You have a lot of women who they are the mother, they are the father, so therefore they have to assume the role of the provider and the protector. as far as the masculine, and as far as being a woman, they also have to assume the role of the feminine energy in terms of that, of being able to create an environment where the family can thrive. And so it's very difficult for a woman to slide in and out of having to play both masculine and feminine roles in a society and in a world that we live today for herself or her children if she's a single parent, or even in the workplace for that matter. And so I don't necessarily subscribe to the word submit.
Okay.
I don't submit. I don't expect anyone to submit. I think the Bible was written by men, and it should be revamped.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I know I'm gonna get a little
No, you're not.
anger some people, but no.
No, you make perfect sense.
It is.
You
It
make
says what
perfect
it
sense.
says, obviously, but I choose to utilize a word that works best for me. So I support my husband, but I also understand the power that I bring to my relationship with him. I know the power that I bring into our home, and therefore I know that I have a significant amount of influence over him so that we can come together to make decisions that's best for us, for our family, for our household, for our future, for our well-being, for us.
So, knowing both of you guys and knowing you guys have the entrepreneur mindset, so it makes a lot of things easier in that setting, first and foremost. And I know when it comes to relationships, where you was born at, that can make a difficult decision. You know, my wife and I, we're both the youngest.
Right.
And that is, I don't really recommend that for anyone because we're both used to getting our ways. So when we both are used to getting our ways for all of this time growing up, and now you have to, wait, I got to give in to someone else or she has to give in to me, vice versa, that's difficult. So I always look at it as, you know, oldest married, the youngest, make it nice and easy. So with you guys being entrepreneurs,
Right.
and in that setting, and I'm not too sure where you guys fall in your families, how can somebody who's listening right now get off the cliff to say, I want to be an entrepreneur and I want to bring my husband along, or vice versa?
Great question. So my husband, he's the fourth child, but the oldest boy.
Okay.
So that's his position. And I'm also the middle child and the only girl. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I was like super spoiled.
You're spoiled rotten.
Oh, gosh, to the core. To the core.
And there's not even, you don't even, you know, you don't even hide that fact.
No,
Okay,
no, that
okay.
was one of the things I told him. I was like, I'm used to getting my way, right?
Wow.
Like, are you okay with, well, here's the thing, though, with marriage that I really want to help paint a picture and illustrate a point. Marriage is nothing more than you making the commitment to meeting someone else's needs for the rest of your life.
Okay.
So when my husband and I decided to get married, we went into our marriage knowing that it is my responsibility to meet this man's every need for the rest of my natural born life. He came into the marriage knowing that it is his responsibility to meet all of my needs for as long as I live. And when you know that going into the relationship, and when you make the commitment to do that, meaning commitment is making a decision to doing something in which you said long ago, long after feeling and long after the emotion of which you said it and has left you, but you still do it anyway. The commitment that we've made to each other has helped to support our marriage in that way.
But it wasn't that kind of difficult for you, knowing that you were the spoiled, rotten child, and trying
I was
to
reasonable.
say,
I'm reasonable.
but you knew that was going to be difficult.
No.
You didn't. Oh, okay. Because what I just heard, you just said, you know, you was spoiled.
I am.
And you had to commit to your husband,
Right.
and to give him
What
his
he
needs.
as long as he was willing to meet my needs.
Oh,
So
okay.
even though I
Okay.
was spoiled, I still, he's done a phenomenal job, by the way.
I give it to him because that's difficult.
It doesn't have to be.
Well, I say it's difficult because knowing that you got everything that you wanted. Now, a man as a husband is not a dad. And sometimes women could put the dad mold into the husband. And I think I don't think that's right.
No, it's totally wrong, and I don't see my husband like I see my dad.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that because that could
totally
happen.
Get it. And he doesn't take on the role of a father figure in my life.
Okay.
Not at all. It wouldn't work. Most relationships like that, they don't work. And nor does my husband present himself as a father figure to me either.
Okay.
Because you have men that are in relationships with women and don't know how to express love outside of being like a father figure. I don't need a father. I need a husband.
Yeah.
I need a mate. And there's a clear delineation in terms of how a man would treat his wife versus how he would treat his daughter.
Correct.
So I didn't need him to treat me like his daughter. I needed him to treat me like his wife.
Correct.
And so knowing and understanding that the part that I play in all of this is making it easy so that he can meet my needs.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily try to make him, do all sorts of mental jujitsu tricks and flips and like the Matrix type movements to try to figure me out.
Yeah.
I try my best to be an open book.
Okay.
Now he may feel differently.
Okay.
You'd have to get him on the show and ask him
Yes,
his opinion
yes.
on that. But for the most part, I really do my best to be an open book. So if he says, well, babe, what do you want for your birthday? I don't tell him, well, guess what I want. I actually tell him what I want because I think it's setting him up for, right. Yeah. I'm going to help him do his best to be the best version of himself that he can be for me.
Okay.
And he does the same.
And so the being entrepreneurs, this works for you guys because, like I said, there's some people right now sitting on the sideline wanting to be an entrepreneur, but scared of that significant other because their mindset might not be there.
And there's a lot of couples who are in that situation. One person may say, you know what, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to go out there and I want to tame the jungle. I want to make a place for myself in this world, and I want to do this for us. And you do have the other partner who said, oh, no, you're not. You're not going to leave that good job with those great benefits to sit here and do something on a whim. And that really has to be something where the support is there. It's not fair. So if you take yourself as an individual human being, if my husband was a 9-to-5 employee and he came to me and he said, baby, I want to start my own business, as an individual human being, as the individual person that he is, it is grotesquely unfair of me to ask him to stunt his potential, to water down his power, simply because I feel as though I will be adversely affected by it.
Because of your fear.
Because of my fear.
Yeah.
What we would have to do is obviously talk about it, and we would plan for it. And even though in planning for it, we would also have a subsequent plan in the event it doesn't work out. What is our plan B? Yep. Now, we all know that we make our plans, God laughs at our plans, because in some cases, nothing goes according to plan. But as long as you go into this endeavor with an open mind and an open heart, with a plan in place, then you've given it your all.
Okay. That makes total
You
sense.
have to support that entrepreneur person that's in your life. If not, then you won't have a marriage.
It'll fizzle.
It will fizzle.
Yeah,
It will
I would
fizzle.
agree.
It will fall off. They will leave you. You will leave them. And that's the end of the relationship.
Yep.
Yeah.
And on that note, because we got to bring it on the upbeat on that one.
Oh.
Somebody's listening with some rib shots right now. So when we come back, we got to wrap this up.
Yeah.
I want people to know where to find you, how to find you, your upcoming event coming up, because I think that's going to be a phenomenal event. So we'll definitely leave people with that. You're listening to Swiss Money Show. I'm your host, LJ Shepard, right here on WDRB Media. We'll be right back.